Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday once again. Excuse me. Perhaps it is Monday, depending upon where you are on the globe. And it is Monday. It is not a victory Monday for some teams. Now, before some of you jump on me about my team, Dallas Cowboys losing, and yes, it was a heartbreaking loss. Difference is, the big difference is, at least they were able to put some points up on the scoreboard by the by a show of ones, and that's more than what you were able to come up with. How many points did you put on the scoreboard today, Commanders? You had a miserable, miserable, miserable game, and that is why the title of this broadcast is The Grinch Who Stole the Washington Commanders. Now, is it Dan Quinn? Is it young Jaden Daniels? Or is it the team collectively? Who is responsible for this train wreck that continues to happen over and over and over? So, welcome everyone. Welcome to my post game analysis of the Commanders' miserable fall to the Vikings in this 14th week of the National Football League's regular season. Keep that in mind. This is the regular season. So, a wonderful shout out to my beautiful members. Thank you all so much for your support. The subscribers, thank you all. And those who tend to peep their heads in every now and again, thank you. Give yourselves a round. It is a blessing, and unfortunately, this day did not go well for the Commanders, but there's always next week. So let's give them a round of applause and give yourselves a round of applause. Now that we have that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about what's happened to the Commanders. But before we begin, I thought it was only fitting to bring a Christmas ditty in. Oops, perhaps that was the wrong name to use. A little Christmas spirit, if you will, into the beginning of this broadcast. Shout out to the creators over at TikTok. And welcome to everyone. Right. So, welcome back to, as I mentioned, tonight's edition of The Grinch Who Stole the Washington Commanders, basically their season. Again, I'm your host, Lise, and we're going to talk about tonight's, well, this afternoon's, this evening's miserable loss. And this one hurts because the next Three games. Mm, mm, mm. In my opinion, uh, they're 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 facing a lot right now. So what we're going to do is listen to a bit of the post game show, courtesy of the Washington Commanders. So shout out to them, and we're going to hear a few people chit chat, and then we'll listen to the post game presser. I'll read off some of the comments, and we'll look at a few more clips and get your opinions throughout the chat as to what in the world has happened. Um, as I said, when Jaden Daniels really suffered that, to me, injury that should have had him sit for the remainder of the season. I'm just words escape me right now. So let's listen to the pros speak. Again, this is courtesy of the Washington Commanders and fair use. Now that's that's a voice of a superstar, really, Brian Mitchell, who was a beast. And it's comical to listen to him now, and no slight to him, but I know he believes or believed at the beginning of the season because he said it that this was going to be the one. But B Mitch, are you watching the same team that I'm watching now? I know you make a mean gumbo, and your color commentating is on point, but do you really believe what you're saying? Do you practice what you say before you get on air? Because the Commanders suck, and they have for a long time. This the season was over, quite frankly, shortly after it began. And for anyone who believes that there was a modicum of a chance of it being anything different from the seasons prior, you're suffering delusions of grandeur. You really are. So let's continue to listen to B. Mitch. Um, we're halfway through, but the chat the chat was funny. So one person says, and this is too proficient, TV says, which coach gets fired first? And Verde says, we lost, but not lost no more. Okay. And Chiefin says, the season's been over since we played the Bears. Now, shout out to the Chicago Bears because I believe they have shocked many people because they certainly have me. And oh, someone by the name of Suki says, bench Jaden for stupidity. Now, I'm not really sure where that came from, but I don't even know why he. Let's continue with some of these comments. Susie says, absolutely horrendous. And there's some laughy emojis, and then Big Daddy says, these scrubs. And Casey says, I say fire B. Mitch for trashing fans. Well, first of all, I'm not going to say fire B. Mitch, but B. Mitch, to be honest, again, you can't get upset with the fans being embarrassed, angry, and wanting to see results after year after year after year of the same thing. You make changes. You say that you're reinventing the team. You bring in new coaches. You select players who you believe, and I do believe that the selections are made that this is really going to make a difference. But the problem is, and the problem has been, it's the same result year after year after year after year. This is almost bringing me back to 2012 again. I hate to keep bringing his name up, but Robert Griffin III. So, B. Mitch, let's hear what you have to say.
Football is about consistency. You gotta
And you're absolutely right. And the Washington Commanders are consistently inconsistent. You're consistently losing. You're consistently giving your fans, because I'm not a fan, hope that this is going to be the year, and you consistently disappoint them. You're right about that, B. Mitch. I agree with you 100%. Let's continue.
find a way to be consistent. Yeah. You gotta find a way to lift your, what you do out there with them. You gotta match their intensity. We didn't do that. We had chances. We got into the red zone. We left with nothing.
You're absolutely right. A big zero, zip, zilch, nothing. And I can't believe you have the nerve to have a little smile on your face. Did you do some backdoor betting, B. Mitch? I'm just joking. Just joking. A little joke.
We got to find a way to have that rhythm. And we talked about JJ McCarthy. I mentioned him a lot. What he hadn't done. He came out the day he did it. He found a way. Yeah. And I think every player to a man have to find a way as well. Yeah, we didn't break the seal. I felt
You didn't break anything, and that's the voice of Santana. And there are people in the chat saying, bring Santana back again. The final embarrassing, devastating score, 31-0. And that was to the Minnesota Vikings. Can you believe it? I mean, not 1 point, not 2 points, not even a field goal. I guarantee you, at my old age and when my knees are feeling well, I probably could have ran in 6 points. You probably would have taken me out on a stretcher, but I think I could have made some difference. But let's continue to listen to Santana.
Felt like we was right there, and we had a couple of gifts, and we just couldn't break open the seal. And he talked about football being about consistency, but it's also about momentum. And when you have it going your way, sometimes you have to take advantage of that opportunity because you never know when you're gonna get it again. I feel like this game we had tremendous opportunity, ample times that we was.
You're absolutely right. I haven't watched the highlights as of yet, but the point is, gentlemen, you were unable to score a point. You had 4 quarters, 4 full quarters, and you were unable to score a point. That says a lot. Do you realize that you are neck and neck with the lowly New York Giants? I'm willing to bet, and I'm not a betting person, that the Giants will beat you now. Let's continue.
In the red zone, just punch it in. Find a way to get that yard. Find a way to, put something on board. And we didn't. And we went for it and we failed. And we allowed them to gain that momentum and keep us further and further away. Yeah. Definitely a tough game for our guys. We are awaiting head coach Dan Quinn. We will take his presser immediately when he gets to the podium. We'll talk a little more about this. Before the show started, B, we're talking about time of possession. Because we saw what Minnesota did. Minnesota ran the ball. They moved the ball quickly. They did everything they could control this game. 35 minutes of possession for Minnesota.
35 minutes of possession. That's absolutely unacceptable. So Silky says, we're trash. Casey says his post game team is trash. And Overtime Otis, that's a cute name, says, fire Dan Quinn. And someone else says, fire DQ. And Tommy, Tommy says, dumb take. All right. So let's continue to listen. And this is the post game show courtesy of the Commanders, who fell to the Minnesota Vikings today at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, 31-0. Again, welcome to the Grinch who stole the Washington Commanders. You're listening to Lise, and I'm your host, Lise. Welcome. Those of you that are coming in, please, if you'd be so kind, double tap your screens, or depending on the device that you are listening from, please give this a thumbs up on your way in, or before you leave. I would truly appreciate it. I know that many of you might be on the road. Some of you may have traveled or gone out to a venue to watch the game. So make sure that you are safe on the roads. Those of you that are already in, make sure that you are safe in your homes and preparing for a brand new week. Keep in mind that this is just a sporting event. Many people enjoy the sport. I actually do too, but some people get a little bit too invested in it, and it's not worth getting yourselves into any trouble. So enjoy the games, and honestly, and I'm being very seriously, accept that you're trash. Let's continue.
25 for us Stevens.
They were efficient. Now, the thing about it, if you look at their stats, they wasn't overwhelming.
Yeah.
Even J.J. McCarthy's numbers were not overwhelming. I think he had 107 yards. If he possibly got to
163.
167 yards passing. But he didn't have a lot of incompletions. He didn't throw any interceptions. They didn't turn the ball over. We talk about this all the time. We win the turnover battle, you win the football.
Be Mitch. Oh, you're sipping on eggnog. Let's continue to listen.
They ran the ball efficiently and effectively. And we were running efficiently, I think, effectively also, but we couldn't get the play capitalized. We'll get the people. The wrapping up with the tackling thing, man, that is beyond me. We got to figure out a way. I say it over and over again. You wrap your arms around somebody and fall, they can't go no damn where. But if you just run around and bump people and hit people, guys don't fall for that in the NFL. That had.
So, Rodney says, tough day for our guys. Overtime Otis, again, I love that name, says, we got out coached. And Roddy says, how do you bring Dan Quinn back? And there's another that says, fire DQ. And LMK says, Jaden can't handle blitzes. How can we possibly win? Okay, your thoughts on that comment. Jaden can't handle the blitz. How can we possibly win? Sonny Nick says, any man who is over 25 that wears his hat backwards is a, oops, D-bag. Fire Dan Quinn. I think this is probably what that comment was referring to. So let's continue listening to B. Mitch.
Has to change, and I think whoever that's not getting it done, look at the film, figure out a way and get it done.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing to me was just defensively we couldn't get off the field.
Okay, this is Santana speaking now.
Yeah, and it was at one point after the first drive, I'm like, okay, we got a long drive, but we didn't score. And that's tough for a defense to finally get a chance to take a breather and the offense get all the way there, but don't punch it in. And then they came back and said, okay, we're going to up that and get a 19-yard drive. And our defense was gas. I mean, you can see it. I mean, no matter how well they held them at times, they just couldn't, they didn't have that much fight in them. So that's what I was talking about the momentum part of it. Like if you put points on the board, then they have something to feel good about. And that's what it was to me. It came down to us knocking off the field, and like you said, it was like a surgery. They ran the ball well, got the first down, whether it was going to pass the ball or run the ball.
And Tim, you look at that first half, and our defense was holding it down. I mean, 4 sacks for our defense, and one of those sacks being our guy number 24, Von Miller. So let's take a look at our toast of the town, presented by La Chemin de Rob. Branson.
Okay. Some of the other comments says, fire the coaching staff and these clowns. Another comment by Jordan says, Jaden done for the season. Moody Skin says, 8 straight losses, then you lose. 31-0. And Comic Soul says, prayers for Zach Ertz, Warrior. Hope he's okay. Amen to that. So let's take a break and listen to another quick short video from TikTok.
Commanders fans, I am so sorry. I feel like Jaden Daniels is turning into another RG3. And I know it sucks, but he can't stay healthy. And I'll give him credit. He's trying to tough the injuries out. He's trying to play. But he takes 1 or 2 big hits, and all of a sudden he's hurt again. That left arm just is not healthy. And even when he does play, 9 of 20 for 78 yards against a Minnesota team that is in shambles, really, with a bad quarterback and an average defense at best. Now, I know the Commanders are not very good, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that Marcus Mariota has had to play a lot this year. And if Jaden Daniels can stay healthy and play, they would be a much better team. This should not have happened against the Minnesota Vikings. This is the kind of score you would expect if the Commanders are playing a team like the Eagles, the Rams, the Seahawks, teams like that, not against the Vikings. Now, as for the Vikings, look, this was a really dominant victory for you guys. It looks like one that you really needed, sure, but at the very same time, nobody's opinion of you is going to change after this game. You beat a team with an injured starting quarterback, and then the backup is Marcus Mariota. Now, while J.J. McCarthy did look good in this game, he looked better in this game than he did in his previous games. But again, just to be clear, when you're playing a team like the Commanders, yes, I'll give him credit for playing well, but that doesn't make me believe suddenly he's a good NFL quarterback. And unfortunately, it's not going to help you guys make the playoffs either, which I sincerely doubt the Vikings even have a chance to do.
Wow, that was some tough talk there. But does he have a point? Your opinions on that? So let us get down a little bit, and those are a couple of commercials, and here we go.
Expect from us in that game.
Well, we just got to find our way. I mean, we're still looking and searching, and that's what we're going to have to do because the Giants are going to play us tough. Yeah. Jackson Dart's going to take his opportunity, take his chances. We know that they have those pass rushers on their football team, so we got to figure something out. Listen, you got 4 games left, and we haven't played any perfect games. We haven't played anything close to perfect, but we can still go out there and try to find it. And then if we can hit everything great in the last 4 games, it'll be outstanding for you. But you got to find.
Oh, B. Mitch, I know you really want to believe that, but I'm again, in my opinion, my humble opinion, that's not going to happen. So let's grab a couple of more comments. Name any other team this season who's been beat by 3+ like we have. And Joshua says excuses. Absolutely excuses. And the Snoop says, no other team in the NFL. And Dorano says, nah, I'm tired of this BS we keep saying. And I had to agree. We've heard this again consistently over the years. We're looking for a way. We just need to get in and get this done. We just need to do this. We just. Well, you're just not doing it. You're just continuing to lose. And again, you lost to the Vikings, and you didn't put up a point, not one. So laugh and tee all you want about Dak Prescott and my Dallas Cowboys, but at least we walked away with our ball with some points. You are flying back home with nothing, no points, nothing but excuses and an unhealthy quarterback and very disgruntled fans. Absolutely. Let's continue.
That's something.
Yeah.
You know, right now it's just like we keep going and keep pushing for it, and we're missing it. We got to find something in these last.
Yeah, I was hoping to kind of come out of this game with a victory, and then to see us going to that divisional roundup, I guess you can call it, with those last 4 games, and say, hey, man, we have a shot here. You know what I mean? We have a shot to at least try to shoot for this thing and be champs of our division, because you got to play your own people for 4 games in a row. But like B talked about it, man, just got to find a way to get one by any means necessary. Got to find a way to get a win, and I think if that's possible this upcoming week, man, and you never know what can happen at the end.
And if nothing else motivates you playing in the NFC East, is going to motivate you. Look at the Giants right now, 2-11, only 1 game behind us. It kind of puts a picture on the kind of season that we are having right now. That sounds kind of crazy that we only have 1 more win against the New York Giants.
This is where character is shown. This is where you show what type of pride you have. You know, I think the average person can look at this and say, oh, man, the season's over. You can't think that way. You know, you got to say, well, I'm still searching. I'm still trying to find something.
B. Mitch, if you say that one more time, that we still searching, we still have to find something, you stay off the gumbo. Stay off the gumbo. And I'm talking about the gumbo that you make, not any other type of gumbo. The gumbo that you prepare so eloquently. Yeah. So let's see if Dan Quinn is ready to get grilled a little bit. I'm gonna advance this. Okay, there he is. And again, to those of you that are here, welcome. We're listening to the post game of the miserable, dismal season of the Washington Commanders, as they fell today, as they lost today, as they just had their hind parts given to them by the Minnesota Vikings, who won that game by the final score, 31-0. Let's continue to listen to the post game live, courtesy of the Washington Commanders.
Come out in the right way, because I don't care who you are, coach or not, they're gonna come back. You know, so
tell us we appreciate y'all time and y'all insight. Right now, we have head coach Dan Quinn at the podium.
All right, guys, we can begin. Oftentimes you stand here after a loss and try to find, the something good that you wanted to point to as far as that is. But tonight, honestly, I don't. Where I told the team was I thought we took a step forward last week, and tonight I thought we took 3 steps back. And we didn't find our rhythm and let them live.
No, you took more than 3 steps back. Let's take another break to listen to another creator over at TikTok. Shout out to them.
Oh my, I cannot watch this game. I cannot. I don't understand why my quarterback is running. Just take the field goal. We're not doing anything offensively. Just take the damn field goal. But no, we want to be aggressive on 4th and 3. And now it's a pick. And then Jaden's on the I don't know what I'm watching. And now I gotta suffer and watch the defense? The defense. For my mental sanity, I might have to turn this game off. Like, I can't watch this. Like, our receivers aren't getting open, our defense sucks. Like, what? Our run game is the only thing that's good. And even that, the O-line can't block enough to let them make a burst of a run. No.
Let's continue to listen to Coach Quinn.
Live into there. So tonight, to me, none of it was acceptable. 4 division games in our season, and it is an absolute must that we recapture that forward progress that I saw in the last week. We absolutely did not have that tonight in all 3 phases, all the way through it. So, give you an update on Jaden. Obviously, fell on his elbow, was questionable to return, and could have. It was my decision to sit him out. Just, as a team at this point, we were off, and felt like that was the right call for us to go. Certainly offensively, I liked what the first drive looked like. We missed on the touchdown, but those are the moments that we've got to make it and find our space to go. And then one injury update that I wanted to hit you with is early signs say a serious injury for Zach Ertz. And that's hard, man. This guy is one hell of a competitor in every way. And
See that's unfortunate. And I said earlier on this year, if the Commanders could keep their quarterback healthy and keep their players healthy, they may have a shot. But it seems like so many of their players, their main players, their strongest players, end up with these injuries that sometimes end careers. And I hope that's not the case with anyone on the team and for any team, period. No one wants to see that. I mean, there are some that don't care and they say, oh, that's a contact sport. It is, but this is the livelihood for many of these young players and older players, I'm sorry, alike. And no one, I believe, with the heart wants to see anyone injured to the point where they cannot play ever again or sustain injuries over the years where when they're in their 40s or 50s, they start to experience some serious problems. And that's for a different broadcast. But a couple of comments during this presser, they're throwing virtual tomatoes. DJ Wax says, stop playing Jaden. And Motorhead says, so he's not seriously hurt. Rodat says, here we go again. So let's continue to listen to Coach Dan Quinn.
To see the frustration and emotion with that, all of us are feeling that. I'll have the imaging tomorrow, but I wanted to give you that update from an injury standpoint. And that's it. Ready to roll with you guys. Yes, yeah, that's what we're concerned about. And they'll go through the imaging tomorrow, but the early signals, John, aren't good. And let's hope for the best. But the concern is that's a serious knee injury. Yeah, it's an important development time for him. Like, there's no zero risk game. Try to manage that, but for the development point of it, it's important. It was my decision to sit him. I felt we didn't hit our space, be close like we wanted to be. I thought he had a really good, week, 2 weeks really practice, John, and so.
So let me stop here. Someone in the comment section said, bring back Snyder. Oh no, please don't do that. Karen says, fire everyone in this building and always in the yard, says Mariota. Set him up. And Rhodey says, this is the multiverse. Ron Rivera. And Nick says, fire the media. So we're going to take another quick break and look at a clip from a Vikings fan. Somebody get Paw Paw. Paw Paw was getting it.
That's what I'm talking about. Make us proud to be a Minnesota. Make us proud to be a Minnesota. That's what I'm talking about. Right there. And we're going to hurt somebody when they get in our way. We're going to hurt them when they... Oh, there we go. There, we looking... I'm talking about get them yardage, Steve. Them boys running that ball, man. They running
Somebody
that ball.
need to go get Paw
Oh,
Paw.
good block.
See
Good
him, Paw
block.
Paw.
Oh.
Oh man, I thought he had that.
Oh, stay on your feet, kid. Stay on your feet, boy. Stay on your feet. Here we go. Here we go.
Get it, Paw Paw.
Oh! Balls and we won't eat it all. Oh! That boy running, man. That boy running today, man. That boy running today, man. There you go. There you go. We're going in there. Go push him in there. Push him in there. Push in.
What did we just watch? Papa said, push him in there. Push him in there. All right, Dan Quinn, let's finish listening to what you have to say.
Having the guys come back, I felt like, all right, this is another chance to take another step forward. And so when we didn't today as a team, I think all of that was a contributing factor, not one position or one play. Yeah, I said the word, and I think it applies, continuity. And the reason I say that is find like a battle rhythm together when you're doing things. We're primarily a 3 wide team, and then we, then play, second personnel group for us is 2 tight ends. We played more of that this year just due to the injuries at receiver. But I think that's
I'm going to stop it right there and catch a couple of these comments. One says, and this is John Hanson, your team has quit on you. Brian says, bye-bye, Quinn. And Randall says, Quinn has been officially tuned out. No more wins this year. Jonathan says, got a second round TE or tight end not playing. Instead, the 40-year-old tight end. And D&D says, Dan runs a country club. And the Lone Wolf says, we're drafting Drake mid-2026. And Butler says, excuses. And CS says, this team has lost its way. Let's continue to listen to head coach Dan Quinn.
timing, flow, communication, all that. But I liked how the practice week looked, having Noah back. That was kind of the one more piece we were getting into, and finding that continuity was big. So, like I said, I didn't see this coming. I thought it was a time to take another step forward. That's what my eyes told me at practice, and through the first drive, is liked what we saw, and then obviously just fell out of rhythm, and they did not. And we got to make them to all the situation, the ball, the things that we said would be the deciding factors in the game. They were. We just happened to not nail them. That's it.
Practice week. Oh, stop. Yes, I don't want to hear about that either. JD, not NFL material. Okay, that's a good talking point. How many of you agree on that JD is not NFL material? And Freedom Forever says this guy knows he's getting fired after the season. Do you believe this is going to be it for Daniel Quinn or Dan Quinn? Let's look at another quick clip.
Victory in impressive fashion for Minnesota.
Lord have mercy. Yeah, that 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 was heartbreaking. That was absolutely ugly. That minute that I watched, and I'm sure it was a compilation of the highlights throughout the game. But what I saw was absolutely horrible, deplorable, really. And you cannot be upset with the fans for being upset. You can't. After being told and promised and revamping the coaching staff, the front office staff, just to come out with the same types of results again, consistently. Let's continue to listen to head coach Dan Quinn.
Okay, good. Looking back here, I think we had a big jumbo play on, that must have been second down. Yep. And then 3 passes. Yeah, I think probably had a great shot at the last play, to get the touchdown on the 4th down play. As far as like specific calls, I'll have a better chance once I look at it. To be sometimes when you're in it, I don't have the right ones when you score. Usually they're the right calls. When you don't, it's off. But it'll be something I'll look at, man. Obviously, like when you missed a mark like we did, man, like you got to look at it all and question it.
Okay, so Silky City says, get him out of here. And Sia says, if you saw improvement in practice, then go see an optician. My. Batman says, RG3 2.0. And Always in the Yard says, no more college coaches. Tommy says, none of y'all been here past 10 years writing JD success last year. Again, if you've been around for the past few years, actually dating back to 2012 when RG3 was in and everyone was ecstatic, Washington was on fire, meaning excited, thinking that finally we're going to see the Washington football team of the past rise up from the ashes and just to take a nosedive. And this is exactly what's been happening these past few years. And I really feel bad for, like I said, all of the team, every member of the team, and the fans. This has to be devastating for them to watch, especially the diehard fans. And there are many, many of them in the DMV. Let's continue to listen to Dan Quinn.
We practice what we call, those are all 3 phases. You got to dig in hard, man. So I don't have a great answer for you other than like I got to dig in on that. Yes, that was the game I thought honestly where it shifted the most. Then because the 3rd down stops, and it flips it back and it flips it back, and so coming into the half, I said if we improve on 3rd down, like we're right back into the game. And so I think might have been the interception got.
After the half, you will be right back in the game, sir. Let's let him finish.
A stop and field goal, but I thought 3rd downs was where we needed the most improvement right off the bat. I thought we had chances to, honestly, Ben. We missed a sack on one. I thought earlier, bringing up the pressure. So not converting on those, I thought that was huge, man. That's kind of what I'm referring to. Like on the situations, we thought we have to win the turnover margin, and in the situations of the 3rd and 4th downs, when you nail those, usually there's scoring ops, 4th downs, stops, points off the board, and so there's a big shift in the winning margins on the 3rd and 4th downs.
Okay, well that's enough for you, Coach Quinn. It's the same. And Rhodey says our team is a reflection of this guy. And DZ says team checked out And the spoon says, name another team who lost by 21 points or more in a season in the last 25 years. That's a great question. That should be a trivia question. So, again, week 14 in the NFL, the Commanders fall hard to the Vikings. Final score 31-0. Again, there are questions. There are going to be questions on the young quarterback, Jaden Daniels. I believe there's a player, Ertz, who was hurt. I guess we'll hear more about that on Monday. Prayers up to him and to anyone else who was injured today and in the future. Again, that's something that we don't want to see. At least I know I don't want to see. And one more clip just to sum it up. I played it shortly, but for those of you that are coming in and have their 2 cents to say, here's your opportunity before we close it out. Again, happy Sunday. Happy NFL Sunday for some of you. So that sums it up for you Commanders fans and the NFL football fans out there. We're going to leave with, again, Pawpaw, the official Vikings fan of the night, at least from my perspective. Let's lead us out, Pawpaw.
That's what I'm talking about. Make us proud to be a Minnesota. Make us proud to be a Minnesota. That's what I'm talking about. Right there. And we're going to hurt somebody when they get in our way. We're going to hurt them when they... Oh, there we go. There, we looking... I'm talking about get them yardage. Them boys running that ball, man. They running that ball. Oh, good block. Good block.
Oh, man, I thought he had that.
Oh, stay on your feet, kid. Stay on your feet, boy. Stay on your feet. Here we go. Here we go. Oh! Balls and we won't eat it all. Oh! That boy running, man. That boy running today, man. That boy running today, man.